So welcome back to the first afternoon session of the user conference 2021 JMAC and PSIM. I know it was a very short break, but we have a new, very interesting topic coming from my very lovely colleague from France, Adrien Michel. He will present optimization capability for three-phase PWPM rectifier. Some short infos about Adrien. He received his engineering degree in energy, electrical engineering, and embedded systems from UTBM, University of Technology of Belfort, Montbéliard, France, in 2015. Adrien is working at POSIS as a support engineer. If you have a support request in the past or have worked with PSIM, you all know him very well, I guess, or training. And since 2016, he's part of POSIS and is also responsible for other software than PSIM. And I will give him the screen. Adrien, you can take over.
Yeah, for sure.
I will stop my screen.
You have to give me the ball, à nouveau. Yes, it's fine.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, hello everyone. So it's Adrien. Okay, let's start the. Perfect. So today I am going to present you the new module that we have developed with the help of the developer of PSIM, I mean PowerSim. So in fact, those new modules will be available in the next version of PSIM, which will be released very soon. And in fact, those new modules include the optimization one, but also the FMI capability. So as you can see now on my screen, so you can see the different module. Okay, the optimization, Monte Carlo analysis, sensitivity, fault, and parametric, and also the export to FMU. So in fact, why we have developed those modules is very easy to understand. Basically, when you design a polarized electronic circuit, you want to get a robust circuit. You want to test the robustness of your design, in fact. And in fact, by doing this kind of robustness simulation, you need to test your circuit. And in fact, in order to make those tests, you need to apply a kind of process. And here you can see directly the robust process that you have to follow if you want to get a robust design circuit. So first, you have to make some initial measurement. You have to make your you have to design your circuits more or less accurate. You need maybe, for example, add some parasitics and take into account some external influence. And depending on this design, more or less accurate, you will need to optimize it, basically. And once you optimize it, you have to make some further analysis like sensitivity, Monte Carlo. You can have also the Pareto one and fault one, because at the end of your simulation, once it is optimized, you need to test it by adding some fault in your circuit, and you need to check if the fault violate or not your safety criteria. So depending on your result, you will get at the end a robust circuit. If not, you need to optimize it again, make again further analysis like sensitivity, Monte Carlo, stress, and so on, and at the end test it again. So here, this is what I wanted to show you today, because I am going to apply this robust design flow to a three-phase rectifier PWM. So you can see here basically simple circuits, okay, showing the behavior of a three-phase PWM rectifier. So you have in the input the grid, and you have the inverter, basically, and you have at the output your load, okay, emulated by a resistance. And here you have your control stage. So basically, if you run this circuit, you will get a steady state at the output voltage, VDC, around 136 volts, and an overshoot of 18 volts around. So just remember those two value 136 and 18.1. Okay, this is what you have to remember for the next part of my simulation. So now, if I open PSIM, so you can see PSIM, you can clearly that now, if I enable my parameter file, I have my cap value for my capacitance and my res value here. So I have defined those two values, as you know, in a parameter file. Okay, it will just save sometimes for me. So if you simulate, you can see the VDC, as I told you, the 136 volts. So you can just display the cursor and check, for example, the average value, which is, as I told you, 136. You can measure the overshoot, which is the maximum value here, okay, minus the value at your steady state, depending on the time, okay, you want to choose. And as I told you, you will obtain around 18 volts. This is my the first step you need to do when you want to apply your robust design process. Okay, now we are going to apply the first analysis. Okay, but before to apply this first analysis, and this is what you have to think about it, when we have developed the tool, okay, in order to make some optimization and so on, you don't need to set any value on your capacitance. You have just to give a name, basically cap for my capacitance and res for my resistance. Now, if I simulate it, I will get a trouble, and this is normal because cap and res are not defined. Okay, so now we are going to begin our first simulation, which is in fact the sensitivity analysis. But I will give you just a quick overview about what is sensitivity analysis. This is one of the first tools we have developed. So basically, the sensitivity analysis will allow the engineer to understand how sensitive a parameter on a performance measurement when we apply a perturbation. So basically, we are going to take one parameter, for example, the resistance and the capacitance. When we are going to apply one perturbation, for example, 5% perturbation on the nominal value, and we are going to make some further analysis measurement. And we are going to understand if this or those components are sensitive and have a real impact on the on your simulation performance. And here, by doing this calculation, okay, you will know basically if your parameter is sensitive or not. So basically, the delta M is in fact the performance measure. It could be the measurement of the steady state value of your output voltage, and the delta P could be the resistance value. And in fact, we are going to apply, for example, 5% of variation to your resistance, and we are going to measure again the output voltage, and we are going to make this delta calculation. Okay. And at the end, you will get a result, and it will tell you directly if you obtain, if your component is really sensitive and if it has a real impact on your measurement. This is the goal of this sensitivity analysis. Basically, here you can see the GUI, okay, the graphical user interface of the sensitivity analysis. So first, you need to open PSIM. When you open PSIM, okay, you need to load your circuit, your PSIM circuit where you want to apply this sensitivity analysis. Then you have to define the parameters to tune during the simulation. So I am going to choose my capacitance, my resistance, and I am going to apply a variation. Then I will make my simulation performance. I will measure, for example, the output voltage, and I will check, for example, the steady state. Okay, and I am going to understand and check if my resistance and capacitance have a real impact on my output voltage. Depending on that, you can take care and make a kind of safety algorithm or maybe system in order to avoid any trouble to those parameters if an external perturbation is come up. You have to here fill in your simulation settings, the total time, the time step, the print time, and print step. This is the basic simulation setting that you can find into the simulation clock of PSIM. Okay, and at the end, after clicking on run analysis, okay, you will have directly the sensitivity result. So now let's go back into PSIM, and as you know the interface, you have to go into the utilities, and here you have the new module shown. So first, we are going to apply this sensitivity analysis. You can see now directly the GUI. So now, as I told you, as I have put cap and res, I will have directly the parameters which are automatically and loaded by the tool. So you don't need to do anything else. So first, let's choose the capacitance. And I am going to apply a nominal value, which was the nominal one. If you remember, it was 200 and microhenry. And I will give a variation of 5% to this value. I click on add, and now I select my resistance, which is, if you remember again, 5 ohm with a variation of 5%. I will apply, and I click on add. Now I can see the two parameters that I want to modify during the simulation. Then I will select the different, so here you have the list of scope. So depending on the number of scope you have into your circuit, you will see them appear or not. So basically, as I have a VDC, as you can see, which is the output measurement of my load, of my resistance, I will click on VDC. And now I will select steady state, and I will click on add. So here I want to understand if the resistance or the capacitance is the most sensitive to a variation for my steady state value. This is the goal of this simulation. And here you have the capability to, so at the end of the simulation, you will have some result. So you can get only the sensitivity report, or you can get all the simulation result plus the report. So if you want to have everything, click on the last item, save simulation result file, and everything will be created automatically by the sensitivity tool. So now I can click on run analysis. As you can see, there is a warning. Okay, so this warning is just saying you that the sensitivity has been complete. Everything is fine. You can go back into PSIM. So here I can go back into PSIM. Okay, and I click on okay, good. And now if you go into the sensitivity, you can see the time of today. So this is our time in France, basically. You have the report, as I told you. So the report is very close to the window here. You have directly the result of your sensitivity analysis. You have the calculation of the sensitivity parameters, and you have here the different case for the simulation. So the first case is basically the nominal value of your simulation, okay, which was at the beginning of my simulation, okay, and then in the first simulation, I mean in the second one here, you have directly the variation of 5% to my capacitance, and here in the last simulation, you have only the modification of 5% in my resistance. So here I just need to do like this, and here it is maybe clearer for you. Okay, so I have this value of my resistance, and I will apply 5%, and this is my last value, and the capacitance remain the same as the beginning. And here you can see the output voltage. This is the first report, so I don't want to save it, but basically you can go back into your all the simulation result. And for example, for the last simulation, I have the value of each scope of the simulation, depending on the resistance change, basically. And the second simulation is only for the capacitance change. And the first one is the nominal value, nominal simulation. Okay, so now if I go back directly into my slide, I will just make the sum up here. So two reports have been created, two simulation file and report. And here you can see basically the result of your sensitivity. And those results are here set in the ranking. So it is ranking, it's not rating, but ranking column. And as you can see, the resistance here has Q++ notation. It means the resistance is the most sensitive for my output voltage at the steady state, basically. And if you compare directly the real sensitivity, because as I told you, you have to check the real sensitivity. So these parameters allows you to know exactly in 1 second to understand which parameters is the most sensitive. So if you compare those two values for the resistance and the capacitance, you will see that this value is higher than this value of the capacitance. So this value, I mean the resistance, is the most critical, is the most sensitive. So PSIM can extract that for you. And the thing is, after the sensitivity is done, as you know that the resistance is the most critical, you need to make further analysis. And for that, you will take care about this resistance value. And for that, you can apply the optimization analysis. You can apply, for example, the Monte Carlo analysis and check randomly the impact of those change during a simulation. So basically, this is what we are going to do now in Monte Carlo analysis. So the Monte Carlo analysis, for some people who don't know exactly what is it, so the Monte Carlo analysis is very easy to understand. So basically, this analysis will randomly vary component parameters in their tolerance range and execute the specified PSIM analysis at each set of parameters value. So in fact, we are going to apply a range of value for the resistance, for the capacitance, and the algorithm will change randomly all the set of parameters. And at the end, we will have a correlation depending on the parameters who have a real impact on your measurement, on your performance. And at the end, you can collect and gather all the results into histogram, scatter plots, and Pareto charts. And Pareto is one of the most famous one in order to clearly identify which parameters have an impact and which also parameters you have to take care. So the first thing is make a sensitivity analysis. Then you have a good overview of which parameters you have to take care on your simulation. Then you can make Monte Carlo analysis. If you want to check the deviation and apply any distribution law to your system. So here you have the GUI again. So we have tried to build the same GUI for all the new tools, because then thanks to this, people are not really lost when they want to use those tools. And it is very easy to use again as PSIM in general. So first, you have to define again which parameters you want to tune during the simulation, and you have to apply a minimum, some limits, minimum and maximum. You have to choose which distribution law you want to use. So we have implemented some laws in order to make some comparison. You have to again choose which simulation performance you want to check. For example, I want to check again my steady state at the output voltage, so I will apply this. You have to set up the simulation parameters plus the number of simulation. Okay, you have to fill in this information, and then PSIM will make 500 simulation for the Monte Carlo analysis. You can set up more, you can set up less, depending on your needs. And you can save the result with the simulation files, with the report, and so on. So depending on that, you can get a quick result again. After that, you have to click on run, and you will have the result which will be plotted directly there. So I am going to show you how to do this Monte Carlo analysis. So it's easy. I have just created a Monte Carlo analysis, which is easier for everyone to check. I will put in a bigger screen, and here you can see again the three-phase rectifier circuit. Again, I have set up cap and res for the parameters because they will be automatically loaded and detected. So I click on Monte Carlo, and you can see now the GUI of the Monte Carlo. So first, what I want to do, I am going to select my capacitance. I will use a uniform law. I can use a normal, triangular, discrete, and log normal. But for this simple case, we use uniform distribution law. I will set my minimum, my limits, which are 190 microhenry, like this, and the maximum is 210 microhenry again. I will click on add. I will select the resistance, again a uniform, and I will put between 4 and 10 ohm. Here you have the definition of your parameters. Now on your performance, I want to check the overshoot, the steady state as I used for the sensitivity. So I will select my output voltage, which is the VDC. I will check my steady state. I click on add. I want to use to set up 500 simulation. I want to save everything, so you can click on save all. I let by default the parameter setting with the time step and so on, but you can change again, and you can click on add, on run, sorry. And here you have the number of run. As you can see here, you have the scroll bar, okay? And you can easily check the number of simulation depending on your output voltage. So I will just let PSIM make his simulation. I just come back to my slide, and here, as you can see, at the end of the simulation, you will have the report, you will have the simulation results and the statistical parameters. So you can see at which run, which parameters have been, which value of the parameters have been chosen by the algorithm. At the end, as you can see the 500 run, depending on the output voltage. Okay, you have the capability to change the type here. You can plot the Pareto, for example. You can plot this kind of curve. You can modify the parameters if you want to check the output voltage against the resistance or against my capacitance. Okay, and normally at the end of the simulation, you can clearly see the correlation of the resistance, which is here, because I have tuned it and I have modified the limit between 4 and 10 ohms. This is what we have seen here. And here you can see the output voltage, I mean the steady state voltage of my VDC, of my output. So you can clearly see the correlation of your resistance against the output value. So you will need really take care about your resistance parameters, because if during the lifetime of this resistance, the nominal value is changing, you will have wrong result, or your result will not fulfill your objective. This is why now you have to make some optimization. And this is the next simulation, the next analysis. So basically, I just want to show you the GUI. So it is completed. So it takes a few seconds, depending on your circuit, depending on the number of simulation. And here you can have the Pareto diagram. You can update it. And you can see that the 1 and 2, okay, corresponds to the first parameters. I mean, the parameter here correspond to my capacitance. The second parameter, resistance, here belongs to the second parameter here. And the same thing for this analysis. So you have two scopes, as you know, for the Pareto. This is the R square, okay, RR, and the normalized scope. And here you have the result of the first parameter and second parameter. And in my case, this is the resistance, which has the most impact. Again, this is confirming again my sensitivity analysis. And if you go back into the Monte Carlo report, okay, you can clearly see now that you have here the report. You have first the Monte Carlo result of each of my modification of each parameters. Okay, you have here the report. So here you have the normalized scope and the R square. So as you can see here, the resistance has the biggest value against the capacitance. Okay, so this is directly the slope of your curve. And here the R square is if the value is close to 1, It means these parameters is the most sensitive. So this value, as you can see here, is clearly almost 1. So this resistance has the biggest impact on your simulation, on your steady state. But maybe these parameters doesn't have the same effect on the overshoot. This is why you need to apply some measurement, you need to apply some analysis, okay, in order to check if the resistance has the real impact on your needs. If you want to check the steady state, it is fine. You have to take care about the resistance. But maybe if you want to check the current or something else, maybe the resistance don't have the same impact. And this is why you need to make a kind of correlation between all the parameters and all your simulation needs. And at the end, you can clearly see if one or two components or more are critical for your simulation. And here you have just the mean of your output voltage, this value, depending on the Monte Carlo analysis, and the deviation value, which are useful when you apply some Monte Carlo analysis. And here you have all the 500 run directly, and you can see all the value for each scope, depending on the parameters, on the modification value of each parameters. So here you have the set of parameters for each run. This is this Pareto and all the result. And also you can check the output voltage depending on the capacitance. So you can clearly check that there is not too big correlation. There is no correlation because the clouds of points are not gathered. But now, if you check the resistance, as I showed you in my slide, you can clearly see the correlation, the slope. Okay, and you can see that if you change too much the resistance value, of course, for this kind of circuit, the output voltage will change a lot. And at the origin, we are around 140, if you remember, with 5 ohm, okay, of my resistance. So this is the Monte Carlo analysis. Okay, so now, after you have determined all your parameters which are critical, you need to apply a kind of optimization analysis. So basically, the optimization, as it is mentioned, will allow you to reach one targeted value defined by the user by adding also some constraints in order to fulfill your objective. So we have implemented the genetic algorithm into the optimization tool. Okay, so here you have a simply steady state. I mean, a simple picture of what is the genetic algorithm. So basically, you have to take a population, okay, with a lot of parameters to take into account. Depending on your objective and all the parameters, you need to assess. You need to make some measurement. And then you are going to clearly see if some points are close to your curve, okay, or not. Depending on that, you have to select them, the parameters which are closest to your specification. You have, again, to make some cross-breeding and mutation. If you make estimation and if the result is good for you, it's fine. You have very good result. Your genetic has been totally in compliance with your needs. If not, you need to make again more assessment on the last parameters which was in compliance with your needs. Then you have to make again some measurement. You have to select them again, make some mutation, so on and so on. This is why PSIM could do automatically this genetic algorithm, and it will perform a lot of iteration in order to get in order to fulfill your objective. So basically, you are going to choose which parameter are the most critical. Depending on those parameters, PSIM will calculate and optimize the nominal value in order to fit what you desire at the end. You can see here directly the GUI, which is closed again before with the definition of the parameters that you need to tune during the simulation. You can define some constraint because you can make a more complex simulation depending if you want to add 1 or more constraint into your system. You can here choose the simulation objective. Again, what you want to check at the end, what you want to reach, and you can modify the simulation settings. You can run the analysis and you will get the result. So I will just close this example. I will open the optimization one. Okay. And here now you can see the same circuit. I will apply my optimization, and here basically I will define my my settings. So first I want to optimize my capacitance, and again I want to apply some limits, okay, because your system will reach your desire, your needs, if you know more or less the limits of your parameters. Okay, so on my case, I used those values. For the resistance, now I am going to use 1 and 10 ohm for my tolerance, I mean for my limits directly. I don't want to use any constraint now. Okay, so I want to check the steady state. So I want to select my steady state value of my output voltage. So I click on it, steady state, and I want to obtain 140. At the beginning, if you remember, it was 138. Now I want to obtain 140. And I will set a tolerance of 10%, more or less 10%, this value. Okay? Then you can choose genetic because it is as default, and now you can clearly simulate. Again, you have a warning, and I will let PSIM. So PSIM is starting, as you can see, the first iteration, and basically I will directly show you the result, and we can go back into the simulation. So here you can see the simulation result after the 10 iterations which have been done. As you can see, the output voltage is very close as I wanted to have. So this is this value. And here we have optimized the resistance and the capacitance value in order to fit my 140 volt. Again, you have also a report, some simulation result file, which will be created automatically. And here, it's just to show you that after optimize the three-phase rectifier with those value of resistance and capacitance, I can clearly check my average value of my output voltage, and which is now, I don't know if you see clearly, but it is 140 volt again. This is the first thing. So the optimization tool can optimize anything on your circuit depending on your measurement. And here you can see that I have clearly reached my 140 volt with those iteration, and we still get a tolerance. And now, in order to make more complex, I can add a constraint. Again, I want to check the overshoot, okay? And I don't want to have an overshoot above 15 volt, because if you remember, we got 18 volt as overshoot. But on my side, I want to have an overshoot less than 15 volt. This is my constraint for my customer. So I click on add, I click on run analysis. It will start again. And if you now check the simulation result, once it is done, you can see that here I have fulfilled again my 140 volt, because this is my output, my target value that I want to obtain. Here I can have directly the CN1, it was my first constraint, and I obtain 14 volt, so which is less than 15. So it is fine. The optimization has worked well. And here, this is just to show you that when I apply the calculation of the overshoot for my output voltage, I still obtain 14 volt, basically. So now if I go back to PSIM, as you can see, you have the iteration 9, and now it will be almost done. So we can wait a couple of seconds. I think it should be quite good. Okay. Perfect. So now you can see again the 140 volt for my output voltage. I have my iteration, which are still in tolerance with 10%. And here you have the constraint. So as it uses genetic algorithm, each time the simulation results are not the same. This is why my result with my slide are different than here, because again, the genetic is changing every time because it is an algorithm. Okay, it is not a fixed algorithm. So now the last thing is we have optimized my circuit. This is the goal of my system, but now I want to apply some fault. And this is the goal of the next analysis, of the next tool we have developed. Basically, we have developed a fault analysis tool. So this tool helps the user to apply any fault on your system and understand if there is any impact on your specification. And you need to check if your system is still in operation safe area. So you need to check if your safety criteria have been violated or not. So depending on this kind of fault, okay, you will be able to create a redundant system, or you can create a kind of state machine tool in order to get always something very robust. And we have created some fault capabilities. For example, you can use the short circuit fault, the parametric fault, and the open circuit fault. These are the first three faults we have implemented into this tool. So now I am going to open this fault analysis tool. So you can see here directly the GUI, which is fault analysis. So as you can see here, this is the GUI, which is very close as before. So I want to apply a short circuit to my resistance RL1. So this is a one block, three-phase block, okay? And in fact, I am going to apply this fault, one short circuit fault to my RL1. So here you have to select the component which will have a fault. You have to select this. You can also select one of those or any parameters, any component here. And here I want to shortcut the node 0 and the node 3, the pin 1, the pin 0 and the pin 3. This is the pin exactly. But you are going to ask yourself how we can know which pin I want to shortcut. So basically, let's go back into my slide. When you click on the RL1 component, you can display the netlist of this component. So you have to go into the simulate tab and generate netlist. So you can do that. And here you have to select the RL1 component, and you have basically the different coordinates of each node on your graph, on your schematic. So on my case, I wanted to use node 0, node 3, which is this, because thanks to X and Y position, you can clearly define X, I have this value and this value, which is this one and this one. And the Y value should be the same, of course. So I use this value and this value. And thanks to this X and Y coordinates position, you can clearly define which pin you want to shortcut. Let's go back into PSIM. I want to save everything on my result. I will add my fault, my short circuit fault, and I want to check if my steady state of my output voltage is greater than 50 volt if I make a short circuit fault on my resistance. So basically, you have to set like this. You can define any other test. It's a test case, and you can see if the fault violate or not your case. At the end, you can click on Run Analysis, and you can clearly see again the result. So let's go back into my slide. I think it will be easier to check. So here you have the result which have been generated, and you have your result here. So as you can see, my output voltage after the fault, I still obtain 249 volt, which is above 50 volt. I agree with you. It is not my output voltage that I want to reach, but it is above my 50 volt. So then you can apply some other tests. You can maybe tighten and get and set up a more accurate system. And at the end, even if you have a fault, you should get your specification which are fulfilled. If not, you have to create a safety mechanism, a circuit which will always give you good result, even if you have any fault. But thanks to this fault analysis, you can clearly understand if your specifications are still in compliance with your needs, depending on if you add any faults on your system, on any component. And here it is where just to show you the real simulation. I shortcut this RL1 node 0 and node 3, and you can see that I still obtain the 249 volts. So this is just to show you that we are obtain the same value as if we shortcut PSIM circuit. As I have only 5 minutes left, I will skip this part. So this part is a tool also, which allow the users, basically, it is a parametric project manager. So this tool is the combination of all the sensitivity Monte Carlo fault and optimization. So it means what I have shown you since the beginning, you could use all those tools into an all-in-one tool. And then you can make those simulation step by step. Okay, so you can have in all-in-one and all simulation, all your robustness analysis if you want. So first you can configure a Monte Carlo analysis as I did before. Then you can make a sensitivity, you can make a Monte Carlo, and you can run the analysis. And PSIM will make those simulation step by step into only one single tool. So it's just the combination of all the other tools into only one tool. This is nothing more. But it also can save some time because PSIM will do everything and automatically by himself. Okay, so you don't need to open the tool, modify your simulation parameters, then you have to close, reopen another optimization tool, and so on. So here you can just select this tool, the parametric project manager, and select step by step which analysis you have to configure it, run, and just wait. That's all. And the last tool I want to show you is the FMI tool. So it will take just 3 minutes to show you. So the FMI, as you may know, I will just go here. Okay, the FMI is an open standard for exchanging dynamical simulation models between different tools in a standardized format. So basically, thanks to the FMI capability, we will be able to create an FMU, a functional mockup unit. So it means we will encapsulate a PSIM circuit into a subcircuit, and this subcircuit could be reused anywhere in any other external software which are compatible with FMI. So PSIM will be the slave. You will have an FMU subcircuit, and then you can open a software compatible with FMU, okay, with FMI, and you can import this FMU. So the external software will be the master, PSIM will be the slave, and the PSIM circuit will be encapsulated into an FMU model, and this FMU model will be automatically loaded into the external software. And then you can make a co-simulation. It will be a co-simulation, basically. So here, I took this buck circuit, okay? So the power stage will be encapsulated into an FMU, and the control stage here will be done into Simulink. And if you run this circuit into PSIM, you have an output voltage of 12 volts. So I mean the steady state will be close to 12 volts. Okay, so the VO with a 5 ohm resistance will give 12 volts. So basically, we are going open the FMI GUI. So here I can open the GUI of FMI. So I need to open the right example. So I just okay, optimization, FMI, and here. So in 2 minutes, it's done. So then you can go to the next presentation. I'm sorry again for the time. So here you have to use the in node and out node. So this node will help you, will define exactly which signal you will need to exchange during the FMI simulation. So on my case, I decided to use VO, the output voltage and the current from the inductor, and I will set them as output. And thus output signal will be sent to Simulink, but it could be sent to any other software. Okay, I use Simulink because I already have Simulink in my computer. But, and also I have defined the VM voltage value as my input. So it will be an input and I will send data between PSIM and Simulink. So the power stage will be here in PSIM and the control stage, the PI here, that you don't see here, will be done in Simulink. So basically you have to open the FMU, and here by using the in and out node, PSIM will detect automatically the number of input. This is the VM. And the output, which will be the current here, and the output here, voltage. And here you have directly the definition input and output. Here you can define the resistance because you can change the value on the fly during the simulation. Okay, so you can define 5 ohm for my resistance, and you have to click on add. And here you can open SimView at the end and you can modify the timestamp again. You have to click on generate FMU, and the FMU now has been generated. This is the time actually now. So now I just open Simulink. As you can see, it is already done. You have to go on the library browser and select the FMU. I select on FMU. Okay. Now you have to import the FMU that you have loaded, that you have created from PSIM. This is this one. I click on OK, apply path. And now you can see the output, the current and the output voltage that I have defined from PSIM. I just need to link, and here you have the VM. And here you can see the resistance that you can change. You can check if you want to see still SimView at the end of the simulation, and you can modify the timestamp. Once it's done, you can click on run. And it will take some seconds. And here you can see SimView, which is open. And as I have did at the beginning, the output voltage should be 12 volt at the steady state for my resistance of 5 ohm. So now I can modify the resistance directly here and make another simulation. So this FMI capability will help you to use PSIM on any other software. But you need to take care and to check if the other software is compatible with FMI. This is the only condition. Then you can make a co-simulation between PSIM and FMI external software. And yeah, so here, this is a GUI. You have here the result, as I told you, and you can also observe the result into SimView. If you want, you can check into SimView. You have to double click on the scope, and here you can see the result, and you can see here, and I can just drag like this and here, and you can see that it is close to 12 as in PSIM. So this is the main goal of this FMI. So PSIM will have more interaction with other software. As you know, that in general, in a company, you have a lot of software in your company. It could be a 3D software, 2D software, 1D software. You can use CFD, you can use any external physics with thanks to the FMI. So thank you everyone for your attention. If you have any question, I will be happy to answer you. I hope you have found it interesting, and sorry again for the time. And I wish you a nice day. And I hope this conference is very interesting for you. So don't hesitate if you have any question. If you know me, you can send me any email, and I can wait a few minutes if you have any question. So thanks again for your time.
Thank you very much, Adrien. As Adrien mentioned, you can send him on Wova a message or per email, or you can just contact me, or you would just ask here. We have another presentation going on since 5 minutes. It's power converters for EV battery charging systems by Vitor Monteiro from the University of Minho. So it's also very interesting topic. You can also join now directly. Or if you have any more questions to Adrien, you can post them here now or later on Wova, and he will answer to it appropriately. But it seems that there are no questions.
It was perfect.
Everybody has understood everything.
If you want to get more details, we can organize some extra meetings, and I can show you in a deeper sense if you prefer. Yeah.
But it seems that everyone is fine. I think we can close the session now.
Yeah.
So again, thank you very much, Adrien. Wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
And if there's no more questions, I will close the session. Thank you for participating, and see you in the next session. Have a great day, and see you in the next session.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.